welcome back to the channel. In this video, I've decided to do a top 5 best new things within Call of Duty World War II Multiplayer. Coming in at number 5 is going to be sniping. Sniping, as we've known it before in the past within Call of Duty, when you snipe, you zoom into your sniper, you see the scope. When you hold your breath, it's alright, don't worry about it. We'll take it another 10 times. What happens with sniping within Call of Duty regularly is you snipe, you zoom in your scope, and the only difference that happens, the only effect that changes when you hold your breath is that your aim becomes a little bit more steady for a few more seconds. In Call of Duty World War II, when you hold your breath, you get this weird black vignette all over, around your screen, and the audio kind of dampens, if not mutes itself. It does make sniping feel a little bit different, and it will sometimes probably make you think twice, before holding your breath. Because if you're used to quick scoping, or let's say you're used to quick scoping and holding your breath, it's kind of throw you off a little bit. It threw me off a bit. I'm gonna ask my cameraman behind me. What do you think, Rayce?
It threw me off a lot of times.
It did, right?
Yep.
I guess it's just a thing that you have to kind of just get used to it. But I thought that was pretty, it's pretty interesting to see why they did that. Coming in at number 4 for this top 5 video, I put new animations such as Hit the Deck. Hit the Deck, what it does is, people were thinking that's kind of like a dolphin dive, but it's not essentially a dolphin dive. I think Michael Condrey actually called it Hit the Deck, and it's more like a throw yourself to prone. When you talk about dolphin dive, there's more of a kind of like flying animation for like about a second or two when you throw yourself or you launch yourself forward. So this one's a little bit different. This is more used for like just to get to cover quickly and avoid getting killed. There's a new inspection weapon. I know we've had this in the past, but we've never had this within Call of Duty from Sledgehammer Games, and we really didn't have it in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare, which is essentially the last previous Call of Duties. MWR is also from last year, but I feel like MWR is not really a new Call of Duty. So I felt like, this was a good enough topic to put it in the number 4 slot, alongside with some things that I got to talk to you guys about in this video for this slot. So inspect weapons is back. Weapon inspection. You can inspect your weapons. You can inspect your ARs, SMGs, pistols. I don't know if you can inspect your flamethrower when you equipped it. We gotta try, because flamethrowers it's actually a kill streak. So I don't know if you can actually inspect that though. Inspecting weapons is actually a little bit different this time. Instead of pressing down on the D-pad, you actually gotta hold a triangle, kind of like an MWR. Yeah. An MWR, when you hold triangle, is the melee. Here is actually you just inspect your weapon. We also have gore and sound effects. This gore I think is a little bit heavier than Black Ops 3, just because the game feels more gritty. The sound effects are a huge difference. It sounds like something completely different. When you play this game, especially if you play it with headphones, it doesn't feel like Black Ops 3. It doesn't feel like Infinite Warfare. It doesn't even feel like MWR or Call of Duty 4, which obviously those are more like modern Call of Duties. This Call of Duty, when you put on the headphones, you literally forget about everything that is around you. It kind of just, it sucks you in just because of the sound effects. I definitely think that the sound effect, attention to detail in the sound effects, definitely separates this game from the previous Call of Duty titles. We're gonna get into the top 3, but there's some people in the pool, so we're gonna head our way over there to the table. Follow me, sir. You gotta record me, man. Come on, cameraman. Coming in at number 3 is Divisions, and I'm gonna have Ray's help me out with this one, because I feel like Divisions, it's really complicated at the moment. We don't really have a lot of information. They had preset divisions for us, like the classes already preset. They made them already, so we really didn't have any type of way to customize them or anything. So we don't know specifically how much you can put into them. One thing that we do know is that there is a division skill, which is the first one, right? The division has 3 slots. It has division skill, division training, and then basic training. So the first 2, division skill, would be a skill that is particular to that specific division. The first division training, I believe the first one said it was a suppressed pistol. So it gives you a pistol, a secondary pistol that has a suppressor. Now you can actually get that suppressor and remove the suppressor from your pistol. So if you want to use it at any moment unsuppressed, you can. And then if you want to use it at a different moment, probably capturing a flag, you want to stay hidden, you can actually put and screw in the suppressor. You can also detach the suppressor from your SMGs. I would assume if we were to get suppressors in ARs, we could probably do the same thing. Now this is probably considered kind of like detachable attachments, I would say, innovative attachments, because we also do have incendiary We have incendiary shells for your shotguns. If you have a shotgun, you could have the regular shells and shoot it, and then you can actually have 2 incendiary shells, put them in there and actually shoot the shotgun shells, and they literally burn your opponents. We also have a bayonet charge, which is actually part of your division skill, which is your first skill up top. Under the infantry division, there is a division skill called bayonet. What's it called?
Bayonet.
It's called bayonet?
Bayonet charge.
So it's actually called bayonet charge, and once you put that, you actually have the ability to use a bayonet while you're using one of the assault rifles, which me and Razor were talking about it. We kind of really didn't agree too much with it because I guess it makes it more rare. That way nobody's kind of like just spamming the bayonet charge. But I don't really think bayonet charging is really that much of a big deal. I think it's kind of like meleeing, just a little bit more overpowered because you can actually sprint forward. But I do agree with the fact that when you do the bayonet charge, you actually sprint quicker forward as opposed to you not using the bayonet charge. So I could also see why they would probably put it on that, so people don't spam it. Yeah. But that's pretty much it about divisions. Divisions, a lot of people are freaking out that divisions is kind of like worse than created class. Divisions, once we actually get to customize it, I think it's gonna have and be more in-depth than created class ever was or ever could be, just because there's so many things within divisions. All right, so coming in at number 2 for the top 5 for this video, we have War. And War is basically one of the brand new game modes, and it is extremely innovating. And the first thing that I want to talk about is building the barriers. When you're in War, you have to build barriers in order to support your team. War doesn't even showcase your KD, it just shows how many kills and basically how you've contributed to the actual teamwork, okay? So it's not really about just yourself. That's something that Michael Condrey actually made clear to us when he was talking to us about War. It's about playing as a team. So you build barriers to basically stop the enemies from progressing forward. In War, you can also drive tanks. It's the only game mode that you can drive tanks. And basically, tanks is something that is actually new within Call of Duty World War II. It came back. It used to be a World at War, but now we have it in Call of Duty World War II. And they're actually pretty cool. Also, tanks are not something you can just get into war and drive it. You actually have to get to a certain point in the progression during the gameplay, whether you're, I think it's under the attacking team, in order for you to actually use the tank. Then we also have Headquarters, which is another brand new game mode, up to 48 players online. Within Headquarters, you can basically just, it's kind of like a huge social hub. You can interact with subscribers or just with your peers, your friends, all in one huge lobby. You can actually even use the firing range, which the firing range actually returns back into Call of Duty World War II, but this time is a little bit different. The firing range, you can actually go into the firing range with like 5, 6, 7, or 8 of your buddies, and then you can have like other buddies behind you just watching you guys shoot the firing range, which has never really been done before and is extremely cool. In War mode, you cannot use score streaks, so there is no score streaks. It is simply all about gun skill and playing the objective and playing as a team. Coming in at number 1 for Call of Duty World War II Multiplayer. I know it's kind of simple, but it's probably the most significant one, and it is that it is 110% boots on the ground. The reason I am bringing this to the number 1 spot is because that was the main concern around this Call of Duty. Is it completely boots on the ground? That was the main concern when Infinite Warfare came out, and they kind of promoted it as it was, but it really wasn't. And then around the time that this Call of Duty was being promoted, right before the reveal of the multiplayer, people were like, okay, so is it going to be multiplayer boots on the ground like 100%, or is it going to have some dashes to the left, to the right? And we really didn't know. And since we already know what the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer feels like, we can confirm that it is 100% boots on the ground. There is no type of advanced movement whatsoever. I think probably the most advanced movement is the hit the deck, which is like just dive to the floor. That's probably the most advanced movement there is. There is literally no verticality in this game as far as the map goes. There was probably the highest point of the map that I got was when I was playing War on the tower sniping, and it's actually like in a little warehouse type area which you have to like go onto like a ladder and climb up there, but that's literally about it. On the snow map, there was, I think it was the B flag or the C flag. There was kind of like a little hill where the flag was sitting at, and that was the highest point of that map. And I feel like boots on the ground is bringing a lot of old fans back. As you can see, this Call of Duty has a lot of hype, just because it is just gritty, old school Call of Duty, kind of like what started Call of Duty and made it very, very popular, which was boots on the ground. And it came back. So I really feel like boots on the ground is again going to bring old fans back, and I feel like it's so smooth, but yet it's not slow, that the transition for the newer fans, it's going to be pretty good. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Hollow, how is the movement if you were to compare it to MWR? Is it the same? Is it slower? I think it's actually faster than MWR, and it still boots on the ground. Sledgehammer Games totally nailed it. And again, I think you guys will enjoy the game a lot. I think you guys will actually really like it, and it's not being overhyped or anything. I just think it's a really great game. Hope you guys enjoyed this top 5. If you guys have any, you know, top things that I probably didn't mention in this video that you probably caught onto the multiplayer trailer, or maybe some of my gameplays, let me know in the comments. Drop a like on this video if you guys are excited to get your hands on Call of Duty World War II multiplayer soon. I hope you guys are, man, because the game is pretty badass. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.